Hey, it's Kimberlee and welcome back to my channel. I make videos on all things lifestyle on a budget, and we are back with a cookunity update. In this video, I'm going to be sharing the pros and cons of my experience so far. If you missed my first video, that was a completely blind reaction and honest review of my first time experiencing cookunity. I had a week of meals and I took you through my experience of having them. It ended up being a week and a half because some of the days I ended up having food at work, etc. Now we're out of the office and we're into the dance studio, and I've been in rehearsals for an upcoming opera, and so my schedule changed drastically. I now only have 10 and 20-minute breaks for lunch, and I knew for my first week I absolutely was going to need cookunity once again to just help me offshoot and not even think about my meals and know that I was covered as I adjusted to the amount of food that I was going to need for my new rehearsal schedule. So now that I've had that experience, as well as many other times using cookunity, I want to share my pros and cons of these various experiences. Spoiler alert, there are far more pros than cons, but I think this is really helpful for people with different lifestyles and trying to see where cookunity could fit in. So let's dive into it. The first thing off is the scheduling. I think the scheduling is super flexible with cookunity. If you don't want to use it one of the weeks, you just skip delivery. And I've done that many a times here and there. I love the ability to not lock into a membership or program and to just simply choose skip if I don't need the meals that week. And so I've kind of played around with it where I've maybe had 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off, or 1 week on, 3 weeks off, etc., etc. You get my drift. All you need to do is when your window opens for when you're supposed to be ordering your meals, you just simply log in and skip the delivery. There's no hassle. It's about 2 buttons max, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate that they don't need a reason. That's a major thing that's really helpful. It's pretty obvious, but you do have to do that within the window of time. If you don't skip the delivery and you just leave it as is, guess what? They actually will pick your meals and then send it off to you. So it's kind of automatic unless you hop in and intervene. Another thing is that you will be notified that these things are happening. As soon as Sunday hits, I have an email that says it's time to pick your meals. And every day thereafter until the window closes, it says, don't forget, or it ends up switching to, we've chosen some meals. Is this what you want? And then they already have the meal set, and you do have to go in and either skip or switch out which ones are the meals you would like. I'm like laughing a little right now because I'm thinking of how hectic it was in my new schedule that I have now, adjusting to being able to set up the meals. So I'm in a very large building, and where we have our rehearsals versus where we can like warm up our food, etc. It's like 2 levels up. So where I fell into an issue one of the days is that I had breakfast in the morning, I took class, and I was like, wow, in this hour break that I have, I'm not really hungry, so I'm not going to bother warming up my meal, and I'm just going to wait until we have our first break, which is only 10 minutes. Well, of course, like 30, 45 minutes into the rehearsal, I'm like, I'm ravished. I need that meal, and I definitely can't wait until the 20-minute break, but I only have 10 minutes in this break coming up. So I ran up the stairs, I warmed up my food, I had like 2 bites, brought it back downstairs, and I actually just kept it with me so that I could kind of eat at the next break and just kind of when I just needed a snack real quick. It is very convenient in the preparation as well for the meals, in that it's a 2 to 3 minute microwave for whatever it is. Or if you want to use the oven, you can if you have more time, which I think it's like 10 to 12 minutes or so, which I did use for one of the days when I chose to have the meal when I got home, and it was amazing. It was a vegan quesadilla, and that brings me to my next pro. These meals are delicious. Like I said in my first video, every time I eat one of the meals, I'm like, oh, this is it. This is how a meal is supposed to taste. I would say I'm a fine cook. I'm of the average. I really like the food that I eat. But when I eat something that's made by a chef that is like professionally prepared, literally salivating over making the quesadilla in the oven because it was phenomenal. There's so many meals that end up becoming my absolute favorite, and I'm just blown away each time. If you don't already know, I am a vegan, so the lens that I'm looking through for the cookunity meals is the fact that they have a whole vegan section. The amount of vegan options that there are is really impressive to me for a brand that has multiple options. They also have meat meals, they have vegetarian, they have specific diets, they have low sodium if you're interested in that. There's a lot of customization, and I like that on the website, as I mentioned in the previous video, there's all the whole breakdown. You've got your macros if you need, etc. You can actively choose for things that have low sodium or low calories if that's your journey. You either are someone that likes what they like and will get the same thing all the time, or you want to keep switching it up. And I feel like I'm currently in a stage where I can switch up and discover new foods and just like fall in love. So the one meal that I always get is the sesame ginger tofu poke bowl. It hits all the spots. Like, it is so delicious. I love the sauce. I literally drizzle all of it on there. It is so filling. My second favorite that I recommend to everyone, you do not have to be a vegan to try this one. I highly recommend it. It is called the jollof pasta. Oh my gosh. It is so good. So similar to like jollof rice, like this is a pasta form. It's a pasta that is super flavorful and has like a little bit of spice to it in heaven, and just a little bit more exciting, or actually a lot more exciting than just getting a regular pasta, in my opinion. There was maybe one meal out of all the times I've used it that I didn't necessarily like fall head over heels. I mean, the mushrooms were really good. Other than that, the meals are delicious. I can't speak for the non-vegan meals or the meals I haven't had, but they feel like constant, like 10 out of 10s to me. I really only have one con slash pro, and I'll explain why. So the one con that I don't love is that the window of time that I have, I've only been there maybe like once to receive the meal. You get no indication that the delivery is coming until they're maybe like a couple stops away or something like that. I don't know how it works, but for example, the very first time I used it, it was 2 p.m. and it came like within those 2 hours, which was great. Many of the other times that I've ended up ordering, they don't come in that first window anymore. It's like a little bit later, and that's when I'm not home. Now, the pro of that is that anytime that's happened, they do a text or they call and they end up just leaving the meal on my doorstep or wherever. And I've always gotten the meal. Like, it's never like disappeared. So that's the pro of it all. It ends up all working out. But for example, like I think an hour out or even a half hour out, you'll get a link that says like, hey, your delivery is like on your way, and then you can track it and see on the map where they are. I literally have only been there once where I saw the person, they were super nice, and I gave the other bag back. Get your reusable bag, and then when you're getting the next meal, you would just pass it off. It's been 2 times because now I remember giving this bag back to the person. But the other times I haven't. I wish that the window was like just a 2-hour window. So it's like between 2 and 4, because then I would lock into that. So it's a pro con. I want the window to be smaller so that I'm more likely to choose the one where I'm going to be around. But if I'm not around, they do still end up delivering. I just don't want the person that's delivering to be like, I have to text her, I gotta call her, there's no response, how do I get in, what do I do with these meals, and then the meals don't end up getting delivered. That's never happened to me, but I'm just thinking that. Like, I thought after, like, oh, I wish I could have texted him and been like, sorry, I wasn't there, but thanks anyways. Someone mentioned that they got completely the wrong meals, and I'm so curious how that happened. That's so unfortunate. I would be so upset if that happened to me. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be like, I guess I have to give these to people, like just give them away. But I would want to reach out to the company to rectify that. It's never happened to me. I do see how if you don't catch the window in time and choose your meals, how they would just end up sending whatever they chose. Overall, the meals are delicious. Highly recommend. It's because of their freshness. They last a decent amount. I remember I had one of the 2 of them for like a week and a half. The portions are great for me. It's very quick and easy. Even if you have a 10-minute break, you could heat up this meal and eat it. So just for the people that are very much on the go, Cookunity, that's my update. I'm still really loving it. And if you're a first timer, I've got a first timer code that I'll have down below. If you've already tried it, let me know down below what you think. If you've tried other meal delivery services, how does this one compare? If you've had any issues, let us know down below. How quickly did they rectify it? The major bonus for Cookunity, specifically is the variety and the amount of variety. So that, for example, if you are someone that has a specific dietary need, you're not stuck to the same 4 meals each week or 6 meals, and that's your only option. But there is so much flexibility on the types of meals you can have, and then you can find your favorites and, like, move on to having that one as well. Thank y'all so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next one.